you.
Oh, Foxy, it's your birthday. Not for real, just for play. This is Cree Summer, and Moana Nui will be right back.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Blerdkast Live. And this one's going to be very special because this has been something that's been brewing in every episode since we've been doing this from the start. And to give credit to the person who's responsible for this episode, I want to go ahead and introduce her, my moderator of the evening.
Hi, everybody. My name is Joy, also known as Joyride. I am your magnificent moderator for the evening. And tonight we are talking about adult money. Now, before we get into what that is and how you get it, I want to go around the horn and describe, or actually give everybody a chance to say who they are. So what I want you to do is we're gonna start to this way, and just, who are you? What do you do for a living? And how can people find you on the internet? So we're going to start with S.sceezy, and we're going to go around. Who you be?
What's going on, guys? I'm S.sceezy. You can more than likely find me on Instagram at s.ceezy. I'm mostly on TikTok as well, sceezy.madness. Yeah.
Okay. And what do you do for a living?
For a living, I am a truck driver.
Okay. This I'm going somewhere with that. So we got truck driver. Okay. Next around the horn, B. Cunningham.
I am B. Cunningham of B. Cunningham Cosplay. By day, I am an insurance adjuster. By night, I am a voice actor, award-winning cosplayer, and vocalist. You can find me on all platforms at b.cunningham cosplay. And again, that's all platforms. So that's TikTok, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook. I think that's it.
Okay. Moving around to hello, EJ. Moving around to the Supreme Attorney.
Hi, I'm Supreme Attorney Angela D. Williams. I'm an attorney by day, and all I do at night is watch anime.
And I take it your handles on all social media is the Supreme Attorney, or at the Supreme Attorney?
That's correct.
Okay. That's what I call branding. Nice. And at my 11 o'clock, the Blerd Explorer.
Yeah. How's it going, y'all? My name's Phil. Go by the Blerd Explorer. You can find me on TikTok and IG with the same name as the Blerd Explorer. And I currently work as an ESL teacher in Georgia.
Okay, wonderful. And right below me, Mark, we know who you are, but please, for the people who may be here for the first time, who are you?
For those of you who are here for the first time, my name is Mark. I am the owner of Blerdography and host of Blerdkast Live. I am a cosplay photographer and black nerd, and I just like seeing my people shine. Speaking of, I had an Easter egg playing in the background, but we'll save that for later.
Okay. All right. So adult money. What is that? So the way this got started, actually, I don't think anybody here actually like coined that phrase, but going around on Instagram, Facebook, all the things at one moment was a reel or a couple of memes that said, I am not an adult. I'm an old child with adult money. And that's how we got into this, being, I think when we say an old child, I'm not talking about being childish and immature, but still liking some of the things that you liked when you were young. And once upon a time, when your parents told you got such and such money, and they wouldn't get you what you wanted. Now you do have such and such money, and you buy what you want, within reason or not, because sometimes we are mad irresponsible. But that's what tonight's discussion is going to be about: is how do you adult with your adult money? Okay. So when you hear that phrase adult money, when I based on what I'm just saying, what does that mean to you? Anybody?
When I hear adult
As far
money,
as adult money, that is basically I can take care of all of my bills, and then once the bills are taken care of, I can buy whatever I want, go to whatever con I want, or use that money to buy whatever ridiculous items I might need to build a costume just in case I want to cosplay and go wipe the floor with my competition at a competition.
Word. Okay. Anybody else?
I have to agree with Stephanie. Because I actually had a hard time struggling with the topic when it was first introduced because I didn't understand it. But for me, adult money is the money you have left over after you paid all the bills and rent's paid and car notes paid. It's the profit. It's what you have left over. Um, I guess at the end of the week, end of the month, however you budget yourself to do whatever you want with it. And a lot of us choose to do cons and conventions and cosplay and just heal that inner child in all of us because I'm assuming that's why we're all doing this.
Good evening, Tony. Yeah, and you're right. Supreme Attorney, you had something to add.
oh yeah, so I'm an only child, so my parents never said no, so can't relate. I didn't have to share with anybody, but with my adult money, I don't have to ask my parents for anything. I could just go get it myself, and I don't have to like explain why I want it or whatever, write an essay, whatever. I can just go buy it. I love it.
That's a good point. Whether you have siblings or not, the idea of I can buy this for myself, not spoiled, privileged, we'll say. But I can go get this on my own without having to, like you said, write an essay or justify or balance anything. I can just be like, that, I want that, and I got that. So what are some of the things? Okay, so just to give it a definitive, more, I'd say, academic definition, your accountant, your banker, your money people would call this disposable income, meaning it is the income that you have, to your point, Mark, above and beyond all of your survival necessities. So rents, bills, car notes, et cetera, doctor bills, insurance, anything that is required for you to live is paid for. And then above that, this is the gravy, the lagniappe, if you're from Louisiana, this is extra. And the reason they call it disposable is because it's mad money, throwaway cash. You can do what you want. And if you want to throw it away on something fun, you can without damaging your livelihood. Right. So one of the reasons I wanted to ask everybody what they do for a living is because sometimes your adult money does not come from your grown child hobbies, right? And so we've got truck driver, we've got accountant, yeah. And so how do you find the balance? Like, give me like a number, like a ratio, like is it 80-20, is it 95-5? Like what percent of your total money is disposable income?
I don't want to answer that.
Well, you don't have to answer. Everybody ain't got to answer, but I'll speak for myself. So by day, I am a corporate culture consultant. I do a lot of public speaking, keynote addresses, et cetera, for corporate spaces, lawyers, hospitals, schools, academics, et cetera. I talk a lot, if you couldn't tell, and they pay me well for that. And I would say maybe 30 to 35% of my total income is disposable, meaning I can do whatever I want with it. Now, of that, some of it is invested, some of it is I only live off about 65% of what I make, bring home. So that's me, which means like if you see behind me here, I buy things like K-pop light sticks.
ATs, those Stray Kids.
Stray Kids, right. I got my whole Lino fan over here that I got from being in something. Spend your adult money. Oh, yes, sir. I have spent money in challenges games. And that brings me to, so anybody else, y'all don't have to give your percentages because I realized after I said that that's kind of an invasive question. But what do you spend your disposable income on? For me, it's K-pop stuff. I just bought, like literally as we were logging in, I just bought like a whole linen outfit from a Black-owned business called Dianu because I like the way their clothes look. So that's going to be my outfit for next summer because it was on sale, which is another part of adult money. But anybody else, what do y'all spend y'all money on?
I'll go. Definitely way too many on games. Takeout. I got a big back for that. And of course, from time to time, books for sure. Especially now that I'm back in the USA, I'm definitely gonna start buying a lot of books.
Okay. What about you, B. Cunningham?
Ooh. I would have to say the main part of my disposable income definitely goes to costuming materials. I spend a lot on costume materials, and the one thing they do not tell you is when you make your cosplays from scratch, cosplay is very expensive. So I would have to say, as far as materials, I am what is considered a fabric dragon. I have a giant hoard of fabric in my basement, known as my craft dungeon by my friends. I have a large hoard of art books, i.e. my latest one, the Sakizo. I have many designs that are going to come out of this. Oh, goodness. As you can see, artwork. Actually, Marc Leary can tell you, he's been here before when we did photo shoots. My living room is nothing but artwork. It is pure artwork on all of my walls. So that's also another part of where my disposable income goes.
Okay.
I just want to point out, I have been to Stephanie's nerd mansion, as I would call it. Her and her husband poop on all of us. We all need to be better nerds. Just because that whole house from head to toe is just nothing but a nerd dungeon.
Mm-hmm. And go ahead.
I was gonna say mostly. I forgot. There's also the display case of my DC Bombshell collection. I think I've got about 20 of them.
It has a display case.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. I have to put my girls on display. Don't be like that.
And you have a lot of stuff in your house. I'm not going to tell everybody what's in your house, but you have a really nice house. I like going over there.
Thank you.
Blerd Explorer. What about you? And actually, can you move your camera down because you're stopping at your glasses there?
Oh,
there we go.
Okay.
There you are. Okay. Okay. Now spill it. What do you spend your money
on? Like I said, food. Take way too much on takeout. I'm guilty of that. Especially now the games for sure. Way too many. My game backlog is too massive. I don't want to think about it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pretty much that's it right now. Right now, since for those who don't know, so I've been living in South Korea for the past 9 years. I just recently moved back to the U.S., so pretty much I'm just getting settled in, still getting adjusted for now.
Okay, we're about to take a whole detour.
Yeah.
You say you lived in South Korea for 9 years?
Yes, ma'am.
How was that? Because I feel like that's a whole different that's a whole different discussion. I don't want to take up the whole show, but give me like a 5-minute overview as somebody who loves K-dramas and K-pop, and I'm learning Korean. How was it living there?
Let's put it this way: the K-dramas, the stories you hear, it's all lies.
Yeah, it's all lies. I knew that.
It's all lies. Are they crazy with the academics? Absolutely. Are the kids just as bad as here in America? Oh yes. Oh yeah. Don't let the stats we hear online about how Korea is like the top ranked schools for like math, science, and everything. Yeah, sure. But socially, academically they're ahead. Socially, they're not. They're very behind. And I guess tying back to the money talk, adulting, it can be difficult to save money. So for those who don't know, I taught ESL over there for 9 years. It can be possible to save money, but depending on how you budget and how good you're saving and not spending money. And unfortunately, one of my biggest weaknesses, like I said, takeout, food. I'm a big guy, so I love to eat. And also since over time, one of the benefits about teaching English in Korea is that the employer pays the rent. So you don't pay rent unless you get your own spot. But of course, you pay utilities, gas, internet, blah, blah, blah. So once that's paid off and everything, it's easy to blow your money if you're not careful.
So you mentioned, the expenses and the budget and everything. Have you found it now that you are back in the States and rent is back on the menu?
Yeah.
How have you had to adjust? Like, have you felt that at all?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because the fact that now this is my first apartment that I ever had in my life. I never had an apartment before, so this is my first apartment, first time paying rent. So it is definitely that change. Like, oh wow, I actually got to be responsible. I actually really got to be careful how I spend my money. I got to cut back on the DoorDash. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
but it is still, I would say, compared to Korea. So for those who know, like when it comes to teaching ESL in Asia, especially in Korea, Japan, it's eventually you tap out, like your salary, you hit the glass in terms of career progression, how much you make teaching English over there. China, of course, you make a lot more money over there, but Korea specifically, excuse me, you pretty much tap out like within a couple of years. So now I'm at the point where, okay, I'm at a job where over time, with years of experience and degrees and certificates, then of course I'll get a bump in pay. Over there in Korea, I will never get that unless I was at international school, which I wasn't.
Okay.
So I think I have more opportunities to technically make more money teaching. Obviously, cost of living is going to be a little bit different and everything, but there's still more opportunities. That's what I liked about coming back here for, despite the craziness.
Okay, so where do you live? What city?
So I'm in Stone Mountain, Georgia right now. I teach at the DeKalb County School District.
I bet. So here's the deal. If you help me practice my Korean, I will cook food for you. And we will both save money.
All right, sounds good.
I'm just saying. I'm a good cook, and I'm from Texas, so I only know how to cook for 5 or more people.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah, and I'm good. Anyway, that's another side conversation. Every time we do one of these podcasts, I'll be hooking myself up. Like I got a tattoo artist, I got a cosplay person, or 2 actually, and now I got a potentially a Korean tutor. But thanks, Mark. Now, moving on. One of the things I also want to talk about when we talk about what you spend your money on, we haven't heard from S.sceezy and we haven't heard from Supreme Attorney. So what's your vice? What is your hobby?
Well, if I could say my vices, my hobbies is usually spent on between games and cosplaying. Mostly cosplaying, but I really have a thing where since I grew up in the 90s, my first video game system was a Super Nintendo that I played, and I've just been collecting the systems going up to that point and just like getting a bunch of games with it. Like I'm so old school, I even have an arcade cabinet sitting right next to me. And that was actually a birthday gift from my wife last year. So
Yo, she love you.
yeah. The $500 is that. But yes, definitely it's between my cosplay and video games is where my money basically goes, and that's like 10% of my income is what comes from that.
Okay. And Supreme Attorney, talk to us.
I just buy random things. Like I went to ATL Comic Con, got this because I thought it was super cute. And then she was like, "Oh, you have like Hello Kitty." So then I got this. And then I bought like 5 more, and they were a lot of money. I do a lot, get the artwork, that kind of it. My husband's not into nerd stuff, so I have like 2 secret closets that I have yaoi pictures.
That you haven't hung yet? These just hiding in the closet?
No, they're hung. They're just in the closet.
Okay.
Wait, girl, yours are in the closet. Girl, mine sit in the office. Do not be ashamed. Do not have shame in this.
I don't have shame. I have a husband. I would like to stay married.
I also have a husband, and we are very happily married. He does not mind my pictures in the office. We share our office.
Point of order. Your husband is also a nerd.
Right.
Fair. Fair point.
And then I got my car wrapped. That was like maybe one of the bigger purchases.
Yeah.
So I have a Tesla, but it's wrapped in Tokyo Gold.
That's what's up.
Mm-hmm.
And it's gorgeous too.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a manga riding down the street. It's so pretty. I love it. Mm-hmm. And what's interesting is, everybody's brain has stereotypes in it. And so when you see it riding down the street and then the Supreme Attorney gets out, you're like, oh, didn't see that coming. Get out, go in the courthouse and defend somebody. It's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, they hate it. When I get in my car after I win, they're just like, her? Yeah, her.
We got to do a side by side. I got the Spider-Mobile sitting in my driveway.
Yeah, can both of y'all drop pictures of y'all cars in the chat? Because the audience wants to see those.
Right. If you put them in the Facebook chat, I think our producer
got it sitting right here on my computer screen. It's like me and cosplay sitting right next to it.
Yeah, we can't see that.
Let me put Bonnie's head down. Oh.
Oh my God. Mm.
But that's
Oh,
me pretty much
nice.
sitting right
Okay.
next to it in cosplay.
Ooh,
Very
lovely.
nice. Like the costume too.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks.
Mhm. Is
There's
that
12
nanotech
different versions
Spider-Man?
of that. There's 12 different versions of him and sitting in my closet.
That's what's up. All you do. So you play you cosplay as Spider-Man in different eras?
Majorly.
Mm.
I
You
would
know,
say that Spider-Man is definitely a he was my first introduction to cosplay.
your first, your last, your everything.
He's not the last. The most recent being now is Five Nights at Freddy's, and I've kind of gone off on a tangent with that.
Mm.
I see that.
Mm. You know, one of the things we wanted to talk about is, some of us, we have our day job, and then we have our nerdy spaces, fun things that we do. And sometimes you can make a little money or a lot doing the things that really bring you in happiness. Um, I think about my dad because I'm going to get in eventually into like this idea of hobbies because the hobbies are not new. But I think about my dad. He loved to go fishing and he loved to go hunting. He would hunt deer because we lived in Texas, and it costs money. You're talking about massive rifles, the renting the time on the whatever the wilderness woods is to be out there because you can't just go out there without express permission. Um, all the bullets he went through at target practice, not to bring home like one deer. However, that one deer would feed us through the winter. Like I had a whole lot of venison steak, sausage, chili, etc. He would sell some of it to his friends, and so it became self-sustaining. So it didn't hurt the family's expenses, but it kind of paid for itself over time. And so I think about some of the other hobbies that we do, like with your cosplay, and even with your being a lawyer. Do you find a way to maybe offset some of your hobby expenses with the hobby itself? You see what I mean?
No.
I'll go first. I got this one. So everybody know I do cosplay photography. One thing that I wanted to mention is that a lot of my adult money goes back into really my hobby slash business of working with cameras and cameras gear, things like that. So I invest a lot of my money back into my business, back into my hobbies of just doing camera stuff. Obviously I charge for cosplay photography shoots. When I do those, I'm starting to charge for interviews and like video editing and other things like that. All things that relate to what I'm doing with blerdography anyway from my own YouTube channel. But I find that you make more money when you reinvest in yourself. So right now, my channel's monetized. I get AdSense. I have memberships. All that money goes back into the business. I'll have new camera gear soon, or I'll have a new website soon, or something. I'm always trying to work on the business. So I invest heavily, like back into myself. I have made a ton of money. There's a con that we shall not mention that I made so much money at. I am mad at myself that I have not just gone back to that model because I respect the con. I want to keep going back to the con, but if I get over my hangups, I'll be so popular at this one big con that's my favorite con and just do nothing but cosplay photography. So I should get back to doing that actually.
You should absolutely get back to doing that. I understand that we have sometimes your principles are more important than a little bit of profit, but if it's not, it's up to you to decide if it's worth it. Because sometimes, I mean, there's things that I do even as a corporate culture consultant where the company's like, can you maybe not talk about this? And I'm like, let me look at how much you're paying me. Yeah, we ain't got to talk about that. We can just get right on over that. Yeah, my value system has levels to it. There's some things absolutely not. There's other things we really should, but I'm not going to push you. And then there's other things. No, we ain't got to talk about that. We can gloss right over this. You don't want to talk about skin color? Absolutely not. We'll talk about age. So I do those things, and I'd say that to give you maybe we have a discussion once again. Maybe we have a little discussion offline about how to, especially if it was a big money maker for you and you enjoy doing it. Why you ain't going back?
We'll discuss that in the Make Blerdography Money group that I created for this specific reason.
There you go. Okay. Next question that I'd like us all to talk about is how do you budget? You know, like if you budget at all. Is there anybody here that's just like, nah, I'll just be out here doing what I want? Okay, so we got one.
So mine is kind of a hybrid.
Okay.
So what I do add up all my bills to see how much it's going to cost for me to maintain those bills. I make sure that that is the amount of money that's in the account at the beginning of the month. It goes into that specific account. Everything else goes into a separate account, and it's no holds barred on that money.
Okay.
So mine, like I said, is sort of a hybrid. I don't necessarily like super budgets where I'm like, all right, I know I'm going to need this amount for gas, this amount for food if I'm doing takeout, this amount for this, that, and the other. No. How much are my major bills? What do I owe to other people? Like, let's say I got a furniture payment, or I'm paying on, like, for instance, my husband and I, we just replaced the screen doors in the house. So obviously that went on a credit card. So, okay, we got to pay for that. That's really more of my system as far as it comes to my adult money. It's all right. This is how much I know I need to have in the account at all times in order to make sure that nothing bounces. And I'll just do what I want with everything else.
Okay.
I'd make sure I have shelter and a way to get to work, and everything else I'm just like, blah, 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 blah.
Okay.
I have that same thing, but I nowhere in the class that they are in. So rent always gets paid on first, automatically, no exceptions. All the bills to survive and keep going to work, all that get paid. But once all that stuff is paid, it's kind of like, do I really need a savings? Am I saving for anything? What's out there to eat? What, like, something I want to buy? Do I need business cards? Do I need this? Do I need that? It's hard being like putting yourself living check to check sometimes, but like it works. I guess I don't know. It works. I guess that's why I have the side hustle.
Definitely. Yeah, check to check is not what it do, because it's a level of constant stress to worry about whether or not those ends are actually going to meet. You know, and so when you can get a little bit of buffer in there, it changes your whole sleeping patterns and everything. You know, what about the guys and the budgeting? How do y'all do it?
As far as budgeting goes, I know it's actually pretty funny from the moment that I pretty much got with my wife. She's been pretty much the financial handler with the funds. Like, I just go out there, make the money, I bring it back home to her. She divvies it out to wherever the bills and stuff, and then she's like, okay, so this is what we're left with. This is, you can do a little bit what you want with this, and I'll do a little bit what I want with that, and that's pretty much how it's been a good dynamic. We just never changed it from that point.
Very smart to know to play to the strengths of each of you. Yeah. If she's good with the money, let her run the money. I like it. Okay. Blerd Explorer.
That's actually something I wanted to talk about a little bit, because I was thinking about that plus other things while I was writing the outline. Is it easier for those of you who are partnered or in a relationship or married to like save and do things versus those who are just single out here paying all their bills on their own?
I think I have a unique perspective because I am married, but I have a special needs son. And I remember when he was way younger, they were like, yeah, typically we don't see both people working. One usually has to stay home. And that's exactly what has happened to us. So it looks like we're dual income, but no, we're not.
I would, because we're considered dinks. We're dual income, no kids for the moment. We're actually trying to go through the IVF process. But I will say the main reason it is easier for me to save with a partner and things of that nature is just like my cohort above me. I have a partner that is a lot better with money than I am, because when I was young and dumb in my 20s, it was like a challenge to see how fast I could spend my account to zero. That was just how I was. So for me, yes, it is easier because I do have someone who is better with money than I am. That actually shows me, yeah, you probably shouldn't spend it on this. Let's take a look at this alternative and see if you like this more.
Okay. Because I've been with the two of y'all just out at cons, and like y'all have like bought an item, each of you, Supreme Attorney and Stephanie, that like made my head spin. Like I can't fathom spending this kind of money at a convention. Which brings me to
What
another
did we
point I wanted to.
buy? What did we buy? I'm just curious.
All right, for
Name
you,
one
I
thing
have
that
to.
made you go, what?
For you, I have to say privately, but for Stephanie, she bought this gaming table board that was like a couple $1,000 at
Oh,
Dragon Con one year.
Oh wow.
first off, it's an investment because that is also doubled as a great dining room table. So no. That is an investment. That is an investment, a furniture investment.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
have no clue what you're talking about. Text me.
I will text you. We will talk after this episode. But I've seen
Where are
you
you
spend
talking?
money, and I'm just like, oh, okay, you're a lawyer. I get
But
it.
it's funny you mentioned that because that does kind of lead to another point that I always thought about when it came to adult money. When you spend a large amount of money on a certain item, what is considered an investment versus you just blew your money on something crazy? Because again, like the table that I got, okay, yes, it was expensive, but it also, on top of it being a gaming table, it does also double as a dining room table, a very, very nice dining room table, along with the chairs and everything. So it was one of those things where I could have probably just bought a regular dining room table and stuff like that, but that's not me and my husband. And also, I kind of prefer that you're not scratching up my nice table and everything with whatever little bits you got on your on the bottom of your little minis and stuff when we play D&D. So yeah, let's actually have a proper surface for that, so you're not messing up my good furniture.
I know, like one of the big purchases I did recently was a bed, and it was a few thousand, but that's because my husband has sleep apnea and he refuses to wear his machine. So I thought I needed to buy a bed so that would help him, and it actually has been. So worth it.
I'm with you on the bed. That was a birthday present to myself a couple of years ago at this point. I got the Sealy with the ones where, the head and the legs.
That's what I got.
Yeah, and then you can hit like the light underneath, and it's got vibration and all this stuff.
Yes,
because,
I love the massage.
Yes.
It's fire. And I don't know what I spent on it, but it was worth every penny.
Oh, I can only imagine.
That's what future investment for me right now: a couch and a bed in the future. That's a furniture goal of mine in the future.
Blerd Explorer, we can only see your chin, baby. What you
okay.
He's like a Spectre gadget that when you can only
Pretty
see.
much. Dr.
Can
Claw.
you tilt
The
your
clock.
camera up?
Do you
There
have
you
a
are.
cat?
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Nah, no pets yet.
Darn. Okay.
Dang, that would have been
Right?
so perfect. Ah.
Yeah, no pets yet. But kind of circling back, I'm in a unique situation because as of this recording, in terms of budgeting and everything, it's hard for me to really budget at the moment because right now I'm on the provisional teacher side for DeKalb County. And so I recently just got my teacher certification, transferred to Georgia. I just got the Georgia license. So I'm waiting for them to transfer me over to the teacher pay, if that makes sense.
Gotcha.
And so once I do get the teacher pay, figure out, okay, I'm either going to be on year 1, 2, 3, or 4 salary. Once I know what pay scale I'll be on, then I can start making a budget. Because I would love to start making a budget now, because I never done it before. I'll admit to that. But now that I'm back, trying to really be adulting and whatnot, I do want to start making a budget. But until I know how much I'm going to get per month, then I can't really make a budget to prepare. But I do, especially when it comes to upcoming vacations, I will cut back on much as I can, cut back on takeout, going out, and everything. Because I've done that before, even while living in Korea. Like past couple of years ago, when I've been to Thailand, Cambodia, Taiwan. Like every time when there's a vacation come up for the next month or two, I'll just cut back on everything, try to save as much as I can for the trip. And I will definitely do that coming for for DreamCon next year.
That makes sense. And so I get the idea, and I do the same thing of saving up for a con. Like, okay, I need my hotel, my tickets, my cash fund. Like, okay, this is the amount of money I think I'm gonna blow on this con, and the goal is to not go back to the ATM. Like, don't pass this budget. Sometimes I do if it's something I really, really want. But like right now, I'm looking at a Firefly version of Monopoly that is still in the plastic. Did I need this? Absolutely not. Have I played it? Not at all. Am I going to get rid of it? Nope. Because it's mine. and I wanted it when I bought it.
And maybe one day you might actually want to play it. You don't have to be like, oh, I need to buy it. No, it's right
Right.
there.
Or I
That
can't believe
part.
I gave it away or something like that. Yeah.
Right. Or you might get an autograph, but it's right there. So you don't have to worry about it.
I didn't think about getting an
It's silly.
autograph. Yo, because if Zoe Wash comes through, what's her real name? Gina Torres. If she comes through another con and I can get her an autograph, that's a done deal. That's what's up.
I will assist you with that. I love Gina Torres.
She's on my list for sure. I adore her. If y'all don't know what the list is, catch me later. I'll tell you what I mean. But one of the other, I'm hearing budgets, I'm hearing savings, and so just really quickly, I want to ask, anybody here besides me over 50? No.
Besides you over what?
Over 50 years old. No. Okay. So as the matriarch, that is, I think, one of the things that is different, because my mom had hobbies. My dad, like I mentioned, with his hunting and his fishing, he had hobbies. My mom liked to play bridge and go to Vegas, and they would budget for all of this. Sometimes we would save up for 2 years. Nice. We would save up for 2 years to go on a cruise. You know, we used to make ends meet by doing some. So my mother's side of the family is in a gray area when it came to legal, illegal fencing, you know, running numbers kind of things. My dad, smarter, helped them not be as crazy with it. Long story short, all the money we made wasn't reported. They're both dead now, so it's not like somebody coming after them. But when we talk about savings, I started off as a chemical engineer. And so we're looking at $1996. I was making good salary coming out of college. And my father was the one that told me to start investing in my retirement from day one. So I didn't want to do it because I was like, I need all my money. You know, I got to pay this rent. I don't have no money to be investing. He's like, do what I said. And I was like, fine, old man, I'll do what you want. And I have to say, because I started investing when I was 24 years old, now at the age of 51, I have my nest egg. I'm not living check to check. I don't dip into my savings, but I've got, you know, the Roth IRAs. I got a 401k. Well, it's a different Roth IRA now because I work for myself. Even being able to work for myself, I was able to manage all this out. I had to budget. I budgeted down to these two, B. Cunningham's point, the exact number of dollars I needed. But I have this fail safe because my dad told me to start investing when I was young. And it wasn't like I was playing the stock market. It's just put away money that you're not using. And every time I got the rule was every time you get a raise or a promotion or whatever it is, you keep living the same way you've been living and you add that money to your retirement fund. And so that has helped me have the amount of money I have now. You know, I didn't start going to cons until I was maybe 47 or so. And spending money, but I always spent money on video games. So I was video games and books like Blerd Explorer. Like I had a backlog of books that it took me a long time to read. Even now, I think I have maybe 300 or 400 books on my Kindle. And so I just want to encourage all of you, if you aren't saving up for that quote unquote rainy day, unless you want to work forever, a retirement fund is something you really want to start thinking about. Now, that being said, some people do want to work forever if you're being able to survive and take care of yourself and handle all your bills with the thing that brings you joy. You know, so that's a lot of people step into their second career like I did, you know, in your 50s, which used to be really old and now is not as old as it used to be because we used to kind of die at 65. Now we're dying at 95. So you have plenty of time. Life is long. Like Chris Rock said, people think life is short. No, it isn't. Life is long, especially if you make bad decisions. So that is my commercial to you and everybody else that's listening is make sure that you are putting something away so that you don't have to work forever.
I do want to add something to that. I saw Tony K dropped in the comments, think of retirement age, young man. To that, I say, I want to model my life after Tony Cade. He probably is in his store right now, closing up and getting ready for tomorrow. I'm going to be working till the day I die, just because that's just how I've always been. I grew up in a family that was like, you just got to work to survive. My mom was an entrepreneur. My dad worked 9 to 5, and I saw what the differences were between an entrepreneur and their work day and someone who worked 9 to 5. So I kind of have like a hybrid life of both. I do have a stable 9 to 5 job, but I also work. I just work. I edit, do whatever I can to make money. I don't see myself enjoying like retirement in the way that some people would, where they just travel or do whatever. I gotta keep working and keep doing what I'm doing. That's why I'm happy that I fell into photography and video, because that's something I can just do always, whenever. Like, it's not going anywhere. Yeah, the industries is changing for both, but it's not going anywhere. I just like working with my hands and just keeping myself busy in that way, because like trust me, my 20s, when I was just laying around doing nothing, just playing video games, I kind of felt like incomplete. So I want to just keep working. I am working on the retirement. I have 401ks. I have all that stuff from my 9 to 5 job, but I could be doing better there, if that makes sense. But as far as like retirement, I don't want to retire. I want to just keep working. As long as it's something that I enjoy doing. And right now I enjoy the things that I do.
Also, we did more than just video games, Mark.
Yeah.
We explored the wonders of Decatur while we were there. Thank you, sir.
Let's not go back to the college days. I remember so much and little about the college days. But I will say this: if I could go back to them days when me and you was in college, and just what I know now as far as like financial literacy, because that was not something that was taught to us.
Nope.
I would have done a lot of things differently. That would have been a cool 15 years of just stacking, saving money. But you know, you live and you learn. Dragon Con is an investment, depending on how you look at it.
Speaking of investments and business, I'm sorry, did I cut somebody off?
Yeah, I was gonna point. This is kind of for me, like, okay, so since I started working for the school district, I was like, I got teacher pension and whatnot. So this is like my first ever pension retirement plan I have. I do plan to go on investing once I'm settled in, planning to accept like Roth IRAs and whatnot. But knowing what I know now, even though I was in Korea for like 9 years, I moved there when I was 25. I wish I left sooner. Like I wish I left sooner, because I'm 34 now. And even though I was over there, especially when I got in my 30s, because over there was like a lot of people who travel to teach English abroad, like we're just traveling, we're young, having fun. We don't want to care about having a career or anything like that. But like when you get to your 30s, it's like, oh well, I can't keep doing this job forever. I gotta have like a pension. Like I'm getting older. Like before I was in my 20s, like having fun, but now, bam, I'm in my 30s now. Like, okay, we gotta do something else. So I kind of wish, part of me wishes that if I left sooner, not only I had a better, retirement plan set up, I would have a more stable career going with a little bit more money though. So
okay.
And I see S.sceezy is a veteran. Were you ever stationed overseas? What branch?
Actually, yes. I was the Army, and I joined as an 11 Bravo infantry. I was actually stationed in South Korea twice, once for 9 months, and again when I re-enlisted for a year. I was there in South Korea. I've also gone over to Afghanistan during Operation Enduring Freedom. That was back in 2012. Yeah, 2011, 2012. I was there for 9 months.
What part of South Korea were you in?
I was actually in it was Seoul. Seoul was the capital, but we were in I was in Kunduz, and it was a spot they call it was a spot. It was like up in the mountains. Like
wait, was it Camp Humphreys?
Yes, Humphreys.
Humphreys.
That was over in Pyeongtaek, I believe.
I was there for a 9-month rotation. That was in Humphreys.
I was in the Air Force, but I was stationed with the Army at Yongsan.
Yongsan was actually where I was in the honor guard. So if you've ever been up there in the main area where the general and them are at, where the honor guard usually is sitting on top of the hill, that's where I was.
Oh, nice. Okay, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
I have a question for the both of you. Since you both were in the Army,
I was not in the Army. I was not in the Army.
Since both of y'all were in the military,
there's a difference.
Since both of y'all were in the military, since we're talking about adult money, the GI Bill, something I wish I had taken advantage of when I could have. But how did you guys use your GI Bill towards what you currently do now? If that's not such a personal question to ask.
No, that's all good. When I used my GI Bill, it was actually used to get my truck driver's license. when I got officially licensed. I didn't have to pay a dime. The GI Bill paid for that class, and it was just like that.
It paid for my undergrad and also my law school.
Nice.
Both?
Uh,
Oh, okay.
Military brat. My parents' benefits pay for my college tuition. I still got loans for room and board though, basically. Especially towards the last semester of college, I had to take out loans to finish up.
I think that's actually a big deal, is to be able to come out of college or law school or what have you with little or no debt, because
Yes.
debt is school loans is crushing people's lives.
Yeah.
I came out of college. I had a scholarship for engineering when I was in school, and I came out with almost no debt because, like to your point, rent wasn't always paid. I remember when I was at Georgia Tech, every winter semester or every winter quarter, I ran out of money in November. And so I had to figure it out for the 2 weeks or whatever that was in December. And I figured it out pretty quickly that if I only spent $1 on food a day, I could make it work. And so
Was
now
that
this is
actually a thing? Like, could you actually
in
buy a meal for
1995 it was. Yeah. So in 1995, you could go to Junior's Grill on Georgia Tech's campus and get seasoned French fries for $1. And
that
I
is
ate
not a
French
meal,
fries.
Joy.
Huh?
That is
I
not a
have to
meal.
agree with Supreme on that one. That is
Yeah,
not
it's not
a
a
meal,
meal.
ma'am.
It wasn't. It wasn't. But so there's finesse to it all. So I could afford a basket of French fries, and then I would sit around my friends and trade fries for bites of their chicken fingers,
Oh my God.
or you're gonna eat
wow.
the celery. You're gonna eat them celery and carrots with them chicken wings you got, but you ain't gonna eat that. Let me get that.
Your
And
dad couldn't send you some venison?
that was when I
What?
got home. I mean, I was living in Atlanta. My parents were in Texas, and so when I went
The
home,
mail
I would
still
get
works.
when I.
I don't think you
Yeah.
can send meat in the mail.
You
Unless it's jerky.
can. It's possible.
So I would go home and get food when I went home. My mom would freeze stuff for me, and my dad would do like my dad was a pit master, so he would do like short ribs, baby back ribs, etc. And he would slow smoke all of that and freeze it, and I would take it back to Atlanta with me. And what's funny is one time I put it in my carry-on, and when it ran through now this was before 9/11 and all that. So when it ran through the security thing, the guy, like, as he was watching it go by, he was like, and he just looked at me like, what the hell is this? And it was still frozen, and he let me through. He let me through with a bunch of bones. Yeah, Junior's Grill was so good. And thank you for understanding me, Mac. But when I got on the plane, the ribs started to defrost, and everybody's like, what smells so good? Who's got barbecue? What is it? And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. But then when we got off the plane and I opened that overhead bin and like, woof, like all this barbecue smell came out, people just looked at me like, Hooker, he was asking whose food this was the whole time. I'm like, it wasn't for you. And yeah, so I did get food from my family, but on a day-to-day basis, I had $1. And sometimes you got to make it do what to do. It's not like, I'm sure all of us have had ramen before it became like a thing the way it is now, and it was just cup noodles.
Yeah, that was the college days.
Yep.
I remember having to beg relatives and like the parents of my friends to for like $20 donations for groceries while in college, while working in college and everything. Man, the 2000s was a trip. Stephanie, you was there. That was crazy.
Yes. Now, remember when we got the Costco card?
Yeah, oh my God, don't give me.
Oh, you can eat for $1.50 there.
Nope, that's a whole other can of worms. You won't open that one up. But I want to go back to something that Supreme Attorney and S.sceezy said with the investment thing. Both of you have wrapped your vehicles, and I've been talking with
James
Angie.
won't put on the screen for whatever reason.
That's why I'm bringing it back up. James, can you please put up the Supreme Attorney's vehicle for the next question I have to ask her? Is wrapping your car an investment? Because I know how you have your vehicle wrapped, where you have your information for your business in the back. S.sceezy, you're a cosplayer. You're known for being a Spider-Man cosplayer. Having your vehicle wrapped, as much as it costs, Is that an investment, or was that just something for joy that just happened to work out money wise?
So initially, you can thank a video game for the reason why I went all out on my car the way that I did. Midnight Club Dub Edition Remix 3.
Ooh.
I had a Chrysler 300. It was the exact same way in the game. That
Mm.
was before they got
Mm.
these depth uh, creations with these newer racing games. But it started out with my love of Spider-Man. I got it done, and it just wound up turning into a business, which is what I do now on a side hustle along with my main job. So on my main job, I drive trucks Monday through Friday, but my side hustle is I perform as Spider-Man or different characters for children's parties, events, what have you.
Hmm. Yeah, I just hope people call me when they get in car accidents.
But
Yeah.
have you noticed people calling you because of the car?
No.
Oh, we're gonna
Only
work
people
on
who
that.
call me
We'll
are
work
like,
on
"Oh
that.
my
We'll
god,
work
I
on
just
that.
saw your car.
See,
I love it."
see, Supreme Attorney. See, that's why you should decal. You should switch from Tokyo Gold to get Ace Attorney. Get
Oh,
Phoenix right
actually,
on your
that's my
car.
next thing. I'm gonna get it done on the Genesis.
See, there
Nice.
we go. That's how you market it.
I'm gonna get and I also have a little chibi character, so I'm gonna get Ace the Attorney, and I'm gonna have myself on there too.
Yeah,
Okay.
should make sure you say objection. Call Supreme Attorney.
Yeah, but not for a felony. But then also, usually when an attorney is on their own, when the economy takes, people don't want to spend money on an attorney. They rather try to do it themselves, or they'll get a public defender. So usually, we're one of the first ones that get cut immediately.
Hmm.
But usually, car accidents go up. So yeah, I
Yeah,
do.
don't I know it?
Yeah, and then immigration, because right now how everything is, it's kind of like going down because people are like, I'm getting deported anyway, so why spend money on an attorney when I know what's going to happen?
Good point.
Mhm.
So that's the only reason I feel like it's not working.
Mm.
Does anybody
Recession,
else
yay!
does anybody else use their, hobby / business as a tax shelter or as a write-off? Or do you buy things under your business name so that it becomes a business expense?
I am doing
Absolutely.
that now.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I am doing that right
I don't know
now.
how to.
Yes.
Every convention
Get
I
an
guest at
LLC.
is a business write-off.
Mm-hmm.
Every convention I guest at, anything that I buy as far as going to a convention, anything dealing with that convention, all of that is a write-off. Any photo shoots that I do there, that is all a write-off.
Right.
So
And
yes, absolutely.
I
Get
just started
an
doing the same
LLC.
because all you need is an LLC. I mean, I remember it was always going around like early in the pandemic. Everybody's like, you got to get an LLC, blah, 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 blah. The reasons that they gave, not necessarily hold water, but I will say it makes for a change in your whole business expenses, what you have to report as income versus income for your company, how you pay yourself through your company. Are you an employee? Are you on payroll? Or do you get a draw as a partner? All those sorts of things make a difference. And I noticed that I was able to, a lot of things I do have as business expenses, like of all the flights I take are for my company. So that's a done deal. But this year, when I went to Dragon Con, specifically representing Moana Nui podcast as a interviewer, as one of their reporters. So I am able to expense the Dragon Con ticket that I bought. I was able to expense my part of the hotel because I made sure that I registered for everything under my company's email address. Right. And so if anybody else, it's not like I'm trying to play with the numbers or anything. Like that's a legitimate business expense because I'm representing through my company, blah, 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 blah. So that's another thing that people sometimes overlook. We're so focused on this is for fun, this is a hobby, but you forget how your hobby, if it can't pay you, it could at least pay for itself.
Yes. Oh my
For
God.
mine,
Yes.
now that I have a panel, I'm able to do it as a marketing thing.
Yep.
And so I get it as what do you want? What do you want? This? Sorry, that's my husband. Sorry.
Hey, husband.
You know you're live, right?
Okay, am I supposed to ignore him?
Okay. I'm just saying.
Yes. Yeah,
Something's
so because of my
happening.
panel, I write off everything. So Mark swears to God I'm just spending all this money, and it's like, no, I'm gonna get it back.
Okay.
That part.
So we mentioned investments, and Stephanie talked about her dining room table, which I agree. I think that's a great investment. I think is going to last. You're going to get the use and life out of that for sure, and it suits your personality better than some rooms to go dining room table that would have cost probably about the same amount of money. But what is the most expensive thing that you've bought in support of your nerdy life?
Ooh. Recently,
Sure.
I'm waiting for this gang lightsabers.
Nice.
It was
Yeah, I got
purple
this at
too.
Dragon Con. Definitely was like this was $119, I think it was after taxes.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
and
read that.
also definitely. Okay, here we go. With the Oblivion Oathkeeper Keyblades.
Nice.
Yeah, also at Dragon Con. But I would definitely say, yeah, that's it. That's probably the most nerdy, expensive thing I've bought so far, at least in Atlanta.
Okay.
I
Now,
love that
does
in
that have to be
Atlanta.
like nerd specific stuff, or could it be like something that is nerdy but also was just a business thing?
Was it your
Either.
camera?
Yes.
I figured. That makes sense.
Mm.
I mean,
Well,
it counts. It's still nerdy, right?
I guess
All right, so
I would say also that my current phone that I use to also take pictures for my books I use for the travel guide book I'm writing. So I did. That's all both an investment on that front.
yeah, and that's what I was gonna bring up. Like, I'm a tech person. I like cameras and gadgets and gear and things like that. So like cell phones and tablets, computers, even consoles, video game consoles, all that stuff to me is like, yeah, I would buy this just because I'm interested in it, but I'm also gonna find a way to make money with it. Like, and this is just kind of how I am with any purchase. If I can't see a way I can make money with it, I won't really buy it unless it's like food or like clothes or something that I need to survive. But outside of that, if I'm spending a bunch of money on something, I need to be able to find a way to make money from it outside of pawning it.
Okay.
I mean that is valid. That is valid. They're going to short you anyway if you try to go to the pawn shop. So no, I get that. I get it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, there was something me and Stephanie was hustling back in the day. Boy, we need to go back to doing that. We made so much money.
I don't know if we want to go back to those days, Mark. Wait a minute.
Yes.
Right. Is this something that you're talking about on air?
Right. Hustling what?
No,
That's what I'm
nothing,
saying. I wanna know,
crazy. Nothing crazy.
Nothing
Yeah,
crazy.
right.
That's a lie.
Yeah,
It was-
right.
It was just a smart business decision. And I was like, man, I need to go back to doing that smart business decision
Statute
because
of
it was
limitations already
lucrative.
ran out. What were you guys doing?
That
Nothing.
is another story for
It was
another
all
day.
legal.
All right,
It was
S.sceezy.
all
You guys
legal.
were hustling
S.sceezy,
nothing.
what's the most expensive thing that you've bought?
It's definitely, if I could say anything, it's definitely a tie between my car, getting it to look to where it is now. And I'm not even going to discuss the price on that because I cry about it every time I think about it. And it's between that and this arcade cabinet. So yeah.
You said the arcade camera was like what, like $500 or so?
Yeah, the arcade cabinet was $500.
That's actually not that bad because I feel like when PS5 first came out, it was like $500, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to actually wait till the PS5 went down in the price on that. So
No,
Yeah,
I paid a little bit higher when the PS5 came out. It was hard to get to.
I'm sorry,
And I
friend.
paid even more because of Korea because electronics over there were much more expensive.
I'm sorry. I'm so
That
sorry.
Hongdae
no,
guys.
but he got a deal on
Very
cell
nice.
phones. Samsung being over there in Korea, you got
Oh no, they're expensive. All electronics are so expensive over there in Asia. Like electronics, it's still cheaper to buy a brand new electronic smartphone. Will be cheaper to buy from the USA, ship it to Korea, and pay the custom fee.
I think
The same
also
way
we
it's
were
cheaper
on
for-
base, so it's different. When you're on
Yeah.
base, we have different selection. We don't have taxes, and we have kiosks that cater to us. So like we can rent a phone. So I think it's different for military members.
Yeah, that's different. Yeah,
Base.
for like average citizens, yeah, no. Unless you got that military connections, you're pretty much on your own.
Yeah.
or unless you're willing to buy used goods that people are always selling because people are always leaving, moving out. So
Yeah, you talking about the electronics reminds me of there's a guy, Sean Solo, that does the Hongdae guy, and
Black
he
and yellow,
always
black and
ends
yellow,
this
black
thing
and
like, yeah,
yellow.
put your number in my iPhone 16 Pro Max. And it seems like a weird thing to say until you realize that's a flex. It's him saying he had an iPhone 16 Pro Max in Hongdae in South Korea. So yeah, shout out to Sean
The
Solo.
flex here. That's the newest one.
Right, yeah, he already got the 17, as a matter of fact. I'm
wow.
gonna rock the 16 until the wheels fall off.
No,
I got a Google Pixel 8.
This was a question that we had earlier we didn't answer. So for everyone that has worked and drawing income overseas, will you pay local currency or US dollars? And isn't it tax free?
So I get paid in the South Korean won, so I get paid in local currency. I still pay taxes, of course. Now, when it came to filing taxes, I still had to file U.S. taxes. But since I made less than 100K in local currency, then I basically had to file the foreign earned income exclusion. So basically, I made less than 100K, then all I do is file taxes, but I don't have to pay any taxes. Basically, if that makes sense. So now recently I did have to start paying taxes because I was selling my ebooks and whatnot, which I'm still confused on how to do that. So
do you have a CPA?
What now?
Do you have a tax attorney or a tax
accountant? No, I do not.
I have a recommendation for you.
Yeah, probably gonna need help on that one because I did not file taxes last year anyway. Well, for this year I didn't file taxes.
Yeah, let's get you set up.
Yeah.
We'll find you somebody. I can give you the name of my lady, and then B. Cunningham has one too. So yeah, let's make sure we're not, especially in today's environment, you don't want to be delinquent on your taxes, anything like that.
Right. I wasn't trying to. I just had trouble this year when I was trying. Okay, so early this year when I was trying to file taxes, I had, I guess, trouble providing when it came to that question about providing proof of my residency that I was living abroad. For some reason, I tried various tax filing app services. I had trouble with that part, talking about providing proof where I lived. Even though it was true, it just wouldn't take it. So I just gave up. I don't know what happened because before I had no problems with it, but for this year, for some reason, I just ran into that trouble.
I don't know. Did we finish the expensive thing that everybody has bought? And there was a question of whether it's cumulative or one-time purchase. And I would say both. Like if you did one major thing like that dining room table, then that's a big deal. But if you've spent money on a collection over time, like my
bombshells.
Your bombshells?
Yeah, I have a collection of the DC bombshell statues.
Okay. I have. So this isn't nerdy. And I stopped collecting it a long time ago. Once upon a time, I thought I was going to get married and have children and leave something like heirlooms to my kids. So back in the 90s, all the like HBCU graduates was buying Thomas Blackshear statues. And your aunts and uncles, since I'm older than most of y'all, probably have some of these in their houses. The statues, one of them I have is, I think the most expensive one I have now, because they were all limited edition, is probably worth maybe $800. And then there are some that are smaller that are worth maybe $200 or $300. But I have like 20 of these.
What is that?
So what is it?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
I'll go get one. Mark, you hold it up for a second. I'll be right back.
I've heard these.
All right.
Oh yeah,
I've seen these before.
So my biggest purchase obviously is the car wrap.
Right.
And I think the second one would be my first cosplay. It was like $600.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Because I got somebody to make it for me because I don't know how to sew or anything. And then I have another one I want to do. I'm not sure how much this is going to cost because I really, really, really want to be Captain Planet for at Blerdcon.
That actually shouldn't be that bad. That's like what, a Zentai suit plus body paint and hair dye?
No.
Or hair wax?
I want like a 40-inch bust down and I want like a corset. Like I want to girly him up.
Oh, you want to do it up for Captain Planet? Okay.
Yes.
The whole nine.
Absolutely.
I'm here for this. Thank you.
I'm so extra.
Sounds like it's going to be great. So this is a Thomas Blackshear statue.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
yeah, my
looking at
mom
them.
does have some of those.
mm-hmm.
I feel like I've seen these before.
Yeah, I'm sure y'all have seen, and they're very detailed, very well done, and they're all like 1 out of 300, something like that. I bought these back. I bought these. It had to be before 1999. I
Oh
was
crap! I broke so many of those. No wonder why my mom got mad. Oh
Bruh.
snap! Okay.
Why were you breaking them? Did you think you were
I
a
didn't
Power
know they
Ranger?
was just all over the house, and I'm like,
So you
hell,
just
toys, and the head broke off. The hand broke off.
ooh, oh my god.
I would kick you out my house.
She did.
So I
I
was
She
would.
thinking,
did.
like this one right
Makes
here,
sense.
this
Makes
one right
sense.
here. If I wanted to like sell it on eBay or whatever, I could probably get somewhere between $500 and $700 for it. And you just knocking heads off.
I would
Yeah.
put you up for adoption. We're done here.
So
No,
they
it's
were
okay
they were
because
in
I
Vegas once upon
still
a
have
time.
a first edition holographic Charizard that's worth more than those darn statues.
But the
Don't
I mean,
try to
James
don't
has a
try to
point. James has
don't
got
try
a
to
point.
denigrate my statues and your mama's statues to defend
To
yourself from breaking
Charizard?
her stuff.
I hope
Right.
your Charizard burns.
Imagine how you
dang.
would feel if your mom had accidentally broke the tail off your Charizard.
I mean, okay, so I since we're talking about collections of things, I've had comics that was worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, Pokemon
Hundreds of
cards,
thousands of
Yu-Gi-Oh
dollars.
cards. Some stuff my dad had. It was like a first edition, like X-Men that was worth a bunch of money, but she threw it out. But yeah, I've had a lot of stuff like Nerdum collection things that were just disappeared or trashed because it was child's play or whatever. So,
That's why
I
you
don't know
broke
what
her
to say.
statues?
That's not why I broke her statues. I was again a kid, and the statues were just all over the house.
I just want to make sure it's not retaliation.
No, it
It
wasn't
probably was.
retaliation, and I
That's
thought it was
something to think about though.
A-bomb.
Like holding on to things until they become an antique or having something that as time goes by, the reason things become limited edition and become rare and more expensive is because people's parents throw them out. They end up in landfills, etc. They didn't understand, lunch boxes and trading cards, baseball cards, rare cards and stuff. They have like an arrow on it that is only like 5 of them in the world. And collectors of things like that will spend money through the nose, similar to artwork. Like I don't know, a Manet is $1 million or something like that. Not because it's so great, but because people ascribe value to it. So yeah, I can understand. And it's interesting now if she hadn't done those things, where if you did have some first edition comic books, etc., you could keep them. You could also not only maybe sell them to a collector for a ridiculous amount of money, but in the right environment, auction them off. If the collection is proven to be like evaluated, take out a loan against it. Like there's all kind of things that you could have done if she were more, maybe a little bit more long-sighted. And that's another thing I want to talk about. The reason we call this adult money is because a lot of adults when we were young told us that the things that we wanted were frivolous and trivial and, you need to grow up. And this idea of growing up, I'm going to speak. Wait, my cousin had a comic book collection from the 70s and 80s, and his mom threw them away when he went to college.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
Oh no.
That's that's hard. That's
I still
hard.
have Pokeballs from the 90s. My mom would never.
Well, you're only child, so they want to make sure you keep
soundbite.
loving them, so you'll take care of them when they get older. But this idea of growing up, so I don't want to get into a rant about capitalism in the United States, but there is this idea that you're not supposed to be happy when you get older. You're not supposed to enjoy what you do for a living. It's supposed to be a slog. You're supposed to just go to work and, your marriage is a ball and chain and life is miserable. And so when people see you being happy, some of them kind of resent it because they weren't happy when they were your age. And so this idea of you need to grow up, you never hear somebody that is, I don't know, practicing football or gymnastics or working on their art or music career being told you need to grow up and get real. But the minute we like video games or comic books or manga or art in general, drawing, all of that, you need to grow up and get a real job. You need to grow up and stop. You can get your heads out of the clouds. I argue that there's not enough creativity and art and everything in the world right now because everybody is miserable doing these jobs they don't like.
Yes, because we told them to go get real jobs.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So hats off to all of us for, bucking the system, breaking them generational curses, and actually liking our lives.
And our spouses.
And your spouses. That's another thing. It's not just that other person in the other house, the roommate that you had to sleep in the bed with, but
I mean, let's be real. Some of them not even doing that. They got whole separate rooms. But I feel like that would be this is a story for another episode. For another episode.
Yeah. We'll leave that off for now. But what do you see going forward? Like, how are you going to, from an adult money standpoint, what is the next thing that you're planning to buy? If you have anything on the horizon, what do you want to get with your money? Your disposable income.
A wrap on my Genesis.
Wrap on a Genesis, okay.
I got a lot. Definitely a bunch of compendiums, volumes, like I got my Amazon wish list, right? Not the wish list, my cart. Was it the Walking Dead Compendium 1, the complete set, and also the Fables collection set, the comic book series. I definitely want to try to get more Keyblades, and I definitely, because Star Wars lightsaber that I wanted to get. It was like the Count Dooku with the one with the curve. I wanted to get that, but I was out my budget. So I'm like, all right, next time in the future, I want to get that, next Dragon Con, wherever. So definitely that, and definitely a lot more Pokemon plushies too.
I love plushies.
Yeah, I got a lot. Still got to call my aunt because I know I left it over at her place when I was still in South Carolina. But yeah, so that's something that I want to definitely get more, like a lot more comic books, a lot more history books for sure.
Mm-hmm. What about you, S.sceezy?
I'd say I'd get another 3D printer because the one I got isn't doing fast enough.
Steph?
Like I got 99 projects that I want to do that's on backlog because I only got one 3D printer. So.
Yeah.
I do want to say something about that. We talked about hobbies that became businesses. I am kicking myself in the backside because 10 years ago I had the opportunity to invest in the 3D printing market before it blew up, and I am so mad that I did not invest in any stocks from that industry because of how it's blown up and became industry of itself. Like if you have a 3D printer, you can do so much with it. From like obviously it's applications in the cosplay industry, but I see so many vendors and people just like 3D print stuff and just sell it. The simplest thing ever. And it's just plastic molded stuff.
Yeah. One of the investments I made, again, I'm showing my age, but I had my broker for my retirement or investment fund was like, you need to get in on these microchips that they're starting to put in the credit cards. So that's how old my thing is. So yeah, anybody that's tapping right now, yeah, thank you, because I get I don't know, a tenth of a penny. But
a lot of people are tapping, so
it was a great investment at the time. And, like imagine if you knew back then what we know now around things like Google and Bitcoin. A lot of people did get into Bitcoin when it first launched, and it's honestly the only one that has maintained its value despite a lot of other nonsense and noise, but still volatile. But anyway, yeah, trying to find those things that are good emerging markets. I remember my friend Corey, who was big time in the gaming industry. He tried to convince me in like the early 2000s, maybe 2008, 2009, to start a Twitch stream and start doing live streams of me playing video games and talking. He's like, because you're fun to talk to, you got a good look, you should do this. And I was like, I don't have time for that. Because at the time I was in corporate America in my slog job that was just paying the bills and blah, 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 blah. And I didn't want to. And now I think, could I be one of the first Black women to have been an internet streamer? Maybe. Yeah.
What do you mean maybe? Yes.
It's actually funny you mentioned that because someone had mentioned to me, I want to say almost 15 years ago, to do fan covers online, to do fan covers on YouTube. And I'm also kicking myself for that, thinking about it now.
If we had just a little glimpse into the future,
That
maybe
part.
we'd do some things differently. For me, the next big thing that I'm going to spend money on is actually working with another person that has been a panelist, Dean's List. I'm going to commission him to do a custom rogue costume for me for next Dragon Con.
Ooh, that's gonna be nice.
I can't
And
wait
I
to see
want to, I
that.
want to, I want to. I've been inspired by you, B. Cunningham, Stephanie, because I want to bend it a little bit. Because instead of just being rogue, I want her to be a reggae rogue. So I'm going to add a little bit more.
Ooh,
Like,
are you coming to my
Jamaican
cosplay
colors.
camp for this design as well?
When is the cosplay camp?
It's in December. It's December the 14th.
Yeah, I can come. Let me put that in my calendar right
Right,
now.
me too.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's December 14th at Challenges Games and Comics.
Wait, cosplay camp?
Yes.
There's a cosplay camp.
Yes. So the best way to describe cosplay camp, it used to be an event that I would host at my home. And basically me and my friends, especially if we're doing group cosplays like the Vegas Showgirl Sailor Scouts we just did back at MomoCon. We had a series of camps where we got together, we designed and figured out our designs. The next camp we had base materials so we could get the bases done. The next camp after that, we're decorating all the other great, wonderful stuff. And then after that, all right, we're all ready. Let's go to our photo shoot at the convention.
Nice. Because
Okay.
I definitely I want this to be something that I can wear again and again. Because one of the first cosplays I did was a rogue costume, and it was that stretchy, almost see-through fabric from Amazon. Costumes R Us that fits like a 5'5", 120-pound girl, and I'm sort of sitting over here at 5'7", 100 pounds. So lots of tape and extra sewing. But yeah,
the date is December the 14th, MJ.
December 14th, and everybody's invited. So EJ, you want to come? Come. Yeah. There we go. But the reason I brought that up is, I don't know how. I have no idea what Dean's List is going to charge me if I wanted to commission him to do the full costume. I got plans for the hair and everything. But that brings me to my next point about adult money. One of the things that I like to do is try to support other Black businesses and other people trying to, let their hobbies support them or let their hobbies be their main source of income. Like right behind me, you'll see I've got like three images in this, whatever this is called, from Afua Richardson. I've got not Greg Burnham. He's the illustrators whose name I always seem to skip. But his painting or his images are on the wall. Was it
Marcus Williams?
I've got Marcus Williams. He did a storm. I've got a tree, a set of 4 where he was mixing up like X-Men and Thundercats or X-Men and Disney princesses. They're like just off screen. Matter of fact, at just this last Dragon Con, here they come from now. I was looking at Afua Richardson's list. She has a collection of one of the comics she's doing, and they're around mermaids. So I picked up all of the mermaids that she had, which are gorgeous. And eventually I'm going to put these in like a full display. That's just one of the things that I've done with my money, with my disposable income is, if y'all know Malachi Bailey, when he was trying to redo his first book, Her, and set up for the sequel, he was asking people like, if you make Marcus Williams, thank you. If you made a donation to his reprint of his first book and it was big enough, he would make you a character in the second book. And I'm very proud to say that at the time I had my good corporate job and I was like, here you go, Malachi. That's how we became friends. And there is a character named Joy in his second book. So that is me.
That's so cool. That's such a flex.
Yeah, go pick up Her, Gods and Monsters. That's the second. Pick up both the books, actually. I've so many Kickstarters. I was in on the Kickstarter for Tuskegee Heirs when it first came out. So some of the money I spent, I'm not even sure where it all is. I just know that when I see somebody trying to build their dream, if I can help, here's $20, here's $50, here's $180, whatever it might be, So how have y'all given back to the nerdy community with some of your adult money?
I guess I'll go. Honestly, with Dragon Con, I went to the art sale, especially the last couple of days. I tried to buy like every Black artist, author that I could find. I bought a couple of coloring pages. And recently, so for those who don't know, I'm actually writing a Black Travel Guide ebook for Thailand. I also did one for South Korea, and recently I just paid for like Black artists to work on the book covers. And for my previous books too, I've also hired Black artists too because I wanted to do Black artists. I'm gonna look for Black editors, just all Black everything type of thing. For the Korea book, I did hire a few Korean locals to work on the book on some chapter page covers too. But most of it was going to be just as many Black artists I could get that I could afford.
Okay. There's anybody else done some yeah, Mark.
All right, so since I go to cons a lot and I interview a lot of people, especially like in the indie comic book scene, I try to go back and support those artists like Marcus Williams, Greg Burnham, Kelly Burnham, who actually hit me up this morning for his interview, so that will be coming soon too. David Crownson, so many other people to name because like we do press and we get to interview people. As a thank you for getting those interviews, sometimes I like to just go back and spend money with the person that I was able to interview. So this past Dragon Con, Peter Macon, he plays Boris on the Orville. He gave me a great interview, and afterwards he was like, "Hey, come to my table." Went to his table. He gave me a bunch of free stuff. I didn't ask for it. He just gave it to me. But again, out of just because of my ethics, I went and bought a couple of prints and an autograph from him, and like God, that was so amazing. But like I've had so many like opportunities to just like read so many good stories or support so many good artists just because of the doing the press thing. And I think like for me, going back and supporting like especially like those Black artists, like your Kelly Burnhams, your Greg Burnhams, your Marcus Williams, David Crownson's, TJ Sterling, Afro Richardson, who also got to interview at this past Dragon Con. It just means a lot, like being able to make that personal connection with them when you see them on the panels and you talk with them, you do interviews with them, and then you're reading their stories and you're like, this is the representation I wanted to see because there was not a lot of this in comics growing up, and now there's a lot of this. Like, I don't know if any of y'all noticed, the indie comic book scene is being dominated by nothing but Black creators, and I think that's amazing.
Yeah, I agree, and I think it's wonderful to see, and I love that we can support each other. I mean, it's one of the best things about being a rich auntie is I can actually like do my part to support as many people as possible. Like the books that I just held up, these are I got these from Charlie Brown, Chuck Brown, however you want to call him, but he was one of the co-authors and illustrators. This is called On the Stump, and you can see. Yeah, somebody's getting punched in the face by the American flag. And then this one is called Claude, which is she is I would call her a superhero character, but one of the things that she's dealing with is her own internal demons. And this is also the illustrator and one of the co-creators of Bitter Root. And so I wanted to get Bitter Root, but he had already sold out by the time I got there. So I'm gonna have to get that online. But again, just excellent work that's out there. I think one of the things that I'm going to suggest as a panel for Dragon Con next year is just a panel on just Black indie creators all in one room, as many as I can get on the stage, because so many people, so many like Black nerds blurs that come to Dragon Con are like, I don't see this or I don't see that, because we do get inundated with the same Marvel and DC stuff over and over again. And they're like, instead of trying to get another Black Panther thing or another Black Lightning thing, let's look at these indie characters and the stuff that they're creating, because it's amazing. And that's another way to spend your money. Yeah, Teresa said she tried to get Bitter Root from Chuck too. It was gone, which is a good problem to have.
I got it. I got Bitter Root.
Did you?
Wait, what's the name of the book? You said Bitter Root?
Bitter Root.
It's
a family of vampire hunters.
Okay. Is it based off in Harlem Renaissance?
Yes.
Okay. So make sure I'm right. It's created by Sanford Green, Chuck Brown, Dave F. Walker.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking at it right now. Okay.
No shame, Blerdography. No shame.
Right? Yeah. Become a channel member today. You get all this content. When you get notifications, you get behind the scenes, you get all this content again from someone that is trying to make a living doing what he loves. So yeah, subscribe, subscribe, and become a channel member.
Oh, and then RJ, she has a manga, and she's a black art manga creator. And hers is so interesting, original characters and everything.
Right. That's what the Seventh Kingdom.
Yes.
Yep.
She just had a book signing last week.
Teresa, me and you, we're gonna put this panel together, and that's gonna be our thing for Dragon Con. I'm trying to be all in. I've talked to Jarvis about it. I'm trying to be all in as a panel creator and host and stuff, etc. next year. So
ooh, that'll be fun.
We're gonna have a lot. I said we're gonna have a lot because between MomoCon and Dragon Con, like I'm gonna start doing more panels now. That's kind of why I'm doing the Blerdkast Live thing to see what topics will stick for like a convention type of thing. So fingers crossed, we might be seeing adult money in MomoCon and Dragon Con next year.
Ooh, that'd be cool. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm trying to get my panel. I guess that's my hobby to make me money, but I don't even know how to do that properly.
We're gonna work on that together. We're gonna work on that together. Me and you gonna work on that one together. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Trust me, wherever I go, you following me. Because I'm bringing you with me.
I love to hear it.
Angie, what you may want to think about is a subscription service where people can call you for random legal advice. Kind of like what was it? What was a scam back in the day?
Cleo?
No, not
Cleo.
Cleo.
I love how we all thought Miss Cleo.
Like it was some sort of like legal services, and you paid like so much a month, and they told you, they help you write your will, help you get out of a
LegalZoom.com. I remember that. Okay.
Oh, that was created by Ben Shapiro, right?
Probably
from the O.J. Simpson trial.
Defense Shield. There's a whole lot of things like that. You could be one of those for the Blerd community. You know
what? That's a great idea.
So I'm an idea person. So we'll work that out. One other thing, what's some of the other stuff we wanted to talk about tonight, especially around this idea of adult money, is
my collection is Hello Kitty. It is ridiculous. It is so ridiculous. I want to go to Japan just to go see Unreal Land, but I want my husband to come with me this time so he can take pictures of me with Hello Kitty. Yes.
So we talked about single person. So I mentioned my Thomas Blackshear collection. I stopped collecting those like in the 90s. Though, like by the time I left Tennessee and moved to Atlanta, I started collecting them because I worked in a place with a whole bunch of white folks, and I was surrounded by white people that would forget because of my skin tone that I was actually black. So I made my house as black as possible by putting all these black people statues everywhere. You couldn't get away from it. And then I thought, I'll leave these to my kids when I die. And then I didn't have kids. So now I just got all these statues. But the other things I started collecting, again, I collect manga, I collect, my walls are covered with artwork. And I think about, from an evolution standpoint, I got masks from when I went to Africa. I've got artwork that I picked up off the street, not picked up, but I bought at a street market. Because again, I'm trying to support my folks across the ocean with their endeavors and everything. We're going to get to this question in a second. Is there something that you couldn't buy when you were younger that you buy as an adult? Hold that thought and be thinking about that as I finish what I'm saying here. And then I forgot what I was saying, which is another problem with getting older is menopause. Like just throw that thought away. Don't
tell me that. Don't tell me that.
Good luck to you.
I didn't know menopause came with foggy brain, like pregnancy.
Brain fog, frozen shoulder, like your body will pick a shoulder and just not let it go up anymore. You'll be like reaching for like the salt and just it's terrible.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I'm not okay with this.
Me neither. After 50?
I'm 51, but yeah, this started a couple years ago. Yeah. Now I will say mine probably started earlier because for health reasons that we don't have to get into with all these dudes on here. But yeah. I think it's gonna hit you sooner or later. But if you think about all the places and things that we could do to support each other. Now that all of Africa basically has gotten off of Amazon's internet and built their own, we got to figure out how to get over there and, start to play with our folks. So,
man, y'all better pick up one of those ancestry things and prove your ancestry to get free citizenship.
Right, because Togo is all about it right now. They're like, come on, Togo, Benin,
I think Ghana. Where's the other one?
And if you're close to retirement age like me, Mauritius is like, if you're retiring, you can retire here. Just bring your retirement account and put it in our bank, because you need money to make money, so they need to be able to loan stuff out. So they need capital, and they're like, you can live here as long as you don't work. You're supposed to just draw your retirement and just live and basically boost the economy. And I'm thinking about it because the cost of living is nothing compared to the United States. You know.
Let me know how that turns out, because I might need to convince my husband that we may need to retire elsewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Tell me how that turns out.
One of the things that we think about when we think about retirement, we think about living on American expense plans. You know, it costs this much for rent, it costs this much for food. You go somewhere else. Once you buy your land, you know, you can buy everything for the cost of like rent over here. And then it's just food. Man, look, get you a couple of chickens and a goat, and maybe a cow if you want, and grow some vegetables, and you don't have to buy food anymore. You have to cook, but you don't have to buy food anymore. Yeah. Right? So now all you got to do is worry about healthcare. And if you're eating better and getting sunlight and drinking water, guess what gets better? Your health.
Your health.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I hate to cut this off though, but I do gotta go. I'm a teacher. I gotta get ready for work in the morning.
Sure. Well, but before you go, remind everybody where they can find you online.
All right. So again, follow me. I go by the Blerd Explorer on IG and TikTok. If you want to see what I'm up to, so as I mentioned before, I'm actually writing a Black travel guide ebook. It's gonna be for one's gonna be for South Korea. I'm also doing a 2-for-1 guidebook on Thailand and Siem Reap, Cambodia. So hopefully both those books will either be out at the end of this year or probably early 2026. So follow me on both my social medias to figure out when both of those books will drop.
Wonderful, wonderful. Hopefully we can have you back on as a guest when your book drops, so we can do interview with you.
Of course. But yeah, y'all have a good night though.
You too.
Good night.
All right, take care.
All right. So the question we got from Robert Majette is there something you couldn't buy when you were younger but were able to buy as an adult beyond McDonald's? Because we all know we didn't have McDonald's money when we was little, and now
Common Rider CSMs.
What is that?
So this is what's called a CSM, a complete selection modification. Basically, every Common Rider series has multiple forms, and usually when they release the toys, they'll release them by form. The CSM is basically everything from that series when it comes to transformation. So this one specifically is for Tajador, and I'm sorry, not Tajador, for Common Rider O's. And the thing with Common Rider O's was you had O medals, and there was specific combinations you could use. The CSM versus every other version has every single medal that was in that series, including the ones from the movies, all that great, wonderful stuff. They're horribly expensive. They were horribly expensive as a child. They're still kind of horribly expensive now, but it's nice that I now have adult money that I can actually get these things.
Nice.
Nice. I'll go next since you brought up Tokusatsu. My thing growing up was like Power Rangers, Zords, and Transformers, and I used to like collect all that I could get and play with them and break them until they were no more. Now that I have adult money, I am trying to get back into that and go buy the Transformers and Power Rangers Zords and Voltrons, not the new age stuff, but like the original 1980s cast iron stuff. And all that stuff is horribly expensive. I think I priced the Green Dragon Zord from the original MMPR. It was a Solo Chujokin version. It was like $600.
Where were you looking for, and where did you find it?
I can't remember. I think it was on eBay or something. I think it was when when it first was released. Then I saw it in Tony's shop for like 180. I still didn't have that kind of money then. And then they came out with those automatic transforming like Optimus Prime and Megatron and Grimoire things where you just like Optimus Prime transform and it just transforms for you. I want one of those. Me and my landlord have been talking, and I'm almost there where I can convince him to let me slide with 1 month's rent so I can get one of those.
Where is it? I want one.
It's on the internet. But yes, if you just look for self-transforming toys, I want one of those, and it costs exactly 1 month's rent.
So I don't know what to tell you about the Transformer, but for the older toys, If you're having trouble finding them stateside, I would say look on Mandarake.
Okay.
Check out Mandarake. They usually tend to have pretty good prices. And I will tell anyone, even if it is secondhand, Mandarake secondhand is not like regular thrift store secondhand. Actually, a lot of thrift stores secondhand are not like thrift store secondhand here. So definitely check out Mandarake. I'll send you the website that I'm talking about and everything, but they're usually a pretty good source.
Okay.
You know, for me, the thing that I couldn't afford, it's going to be simple. What I couldn't afford when I was young that I can afford now is books. I'm an avid reader. I can blow through. For example, the last Harry Potter book back when we was messing with Harry Potter was like this thick, and I bought it hardbound the night it came out and finished it by the next morning. I read very fast. And
are they still canceled?
I don't know. Once I cancel you, I don't pay attention to whether I can let you back in. You just over there. So I feel like J.K. Rowling would never have done anything to get uncanceled, so we're just gonna leave her over there. But
that's fair.
Yeah,
the things that you can accomplish if you just keep your mouth shut.
Right. So for me, it's the book, like being able to afford. Like I can do two. Well, I do everything digital now, so I can get two books on my Kindle and an audiobook and finish all of them in a week. And so I'm constantly like, if I'm cooking dinner, I'm listening to an audiobook. If I'm watching something on TV, and sometimes Hulu throw them commercials up, I'm reading in between. I read when I'm working out in the morning, so it keeps me from having to think about how long I'm on the elliptical because I'm just flipping pages. And I hate it when I run out of stuff to read. And so my mom used to restrict me to like either I could only like nerd out on books at the book fairs that came around. But other than that, she doubles down periodic. Yes, that's why we don't mess with JK, because she's the whole mess. But yeah, that's what I spend. That's what I couldn't afford at my pace when I was young. That now I get a book whenever I feel like it, and I subscribe to Kindle Unlimited, and for me, Kindle Unlimited and Audible is like all you can eat. Like they messed up when they told me I could have as many books as I wanted, because you may think that you're only putting out there just a lot of Black authors actually end up on Kindle Unlimited because they devalue them, but they still get their money whether I'm on a subscription or not. And so I've got maybe 15 books right now that I'm about to read, and I'm glad to be able to use Amazon subscription against them and give some shine to these indie Black authors. There's a series called Sleepy Willow's Bonded Soul. And I found that author at the first con I went to, maybe 2020 or 2021. And I can't remember her name, but the name of the book was Sleepy Willow's Bonded Soul. And that whole series was great. And I think it's on Kindle Unlimited now too. So yeah, that's what I spend my money on that my parents wouldn't let me do, which is weird. What's weird when you think about it, when your parents stop you from reading? What's that about?
My parents did that when I used to get in trouble. They would take away my books and force me to watch TV.
Mine was come out of your room and eat dinner. I was like, I don't want to do that. I want to read. And so here we are, several hundred pounds, later. I was an introvert. We didn't know what that was in like 1985.
Well, I deserved it because I was usually getting in trouble, but whatever.
Oh yeah, I did bad things. But anyway, everybody else, what are you buying now that you couldn't buy when you were young?
Definitely one of the things that I'm buying more of now that I couldn't buy before was Spider-Man suits. Different versions. Like when I said earlier, I now own 12 different versions of Spider-Man. So that one you see that's in my backdrop here, sitting in my closet right now, is 12 different versions of Spider-Man.
Oh, wow.
The multiverse, you can say. I still don't have the 2002, I think it was 2002 Spider-Man Tobey Maguire suit with the raised webbing and all. That is my ideal suit. And if I can get that, then I will die a happy man.
You can get that made, right? Like,
Yeah, I can get it made, but I don't have the funds to be able to get that right now because the way people are charging it, it's like
mhm.
$900 to like $1,000 just for that authentic suit.
Gotcha.
Hey, that's just a couple of birthday gigs. If you charge like what 400 for like a appearance to be a Spider-Man cosplayer,
That's true.
that's just a couple of gigs right there.
And you be reinvesting in your business.
There you go.
Definitely. Like all the suits basically go back to my business. So it's like if a customer asks what type of Spider-Man, if a customer asks for Spider-Man, I can literally go to them and be like, which one?
Mm.
And usually the parents don't necessarily know. They're just like, oh, the red and blue. But if they go ask their kid, they'll be like, oh, I like the rock and roll Spider-Man, or oh, I like
Mhm.
Ghost Spider. Like I actually had one kid that actually asked for the Spirit Spider. Not many
Nice.
people know. It's basically Ghost Rider and Spider-Man put together. And the kid actually asked for it, and I was caught off guard because not many people know about him. But hey, to each his own.
Yeah. And so, those special things like that, you should charge more for that. Like regular friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is one price, but when you want like special Spider-Man from a different universe, tack on an extra 100, you know?
That
Yeah,
would make, yeah,
ain't no shame in that.
Hmm. And the reason being is because they don't know you already had this costume in your closet. That you got to, now that's extra, whatever. I got to make sure I get this made, blah, blah, blah.
Can I request Japanese Spider-Man for my 41st?
I'd say the closest thing I have to a Japanese Spider-Man is my Spider Ranger.
Hmm.
Mm.
This might work. This might work.
Hmm. So we're about an hour and 40 minutes in. So we're going to start wrapping up. I want to wrap up around, how are you planning to retire, if at all? Have you thought about this? I know Mark said earlier he's going to work for the rest of his life. No plans? No ideas?
I have no plans, no ideas because, like I said, I think my situation is unique because of my son.
Mm.
So I know most people when they have kids, they want to make sure they have something for their kids. But if I have something for mine, it's gonna hurt him in the end. So if I die before him and my husband dies, the county would take all our money and say he has too many assets and he have to pay for everything himself.
Wow.
Right. So we're kind of screwed a little bit. So it's almost like we don't want to own things, so we don't want to have him screwed.
That's a lot to have to think about, yeah, to try to manage through that.
Right. And then because he's special needs, it's not like he can voice what he needs. So like, is my son just going to be homeless?
Mm.
Mm.
Hmm. That's a thought.
That
You're
is
welcome.
a thought.
Bringing down the mood. I do what I can. Next.
I'd say it definitely is something to think about because between me and my wife, we have two autistic girls, and for them, they are verbal. They can basically tell you everything that they need to do, smart as a whip, so you can't put nothing past them. But I would say for me, I would be working until I can't work no more. I'm always going to find a way to make money or do something to get that money. And retirement wise, I still have the 401k that I have from the military. So whatever
Mm.
the job that I'm working now, I'm fortunate enough that that job actually rolls over that 401k so that I
Nice.
can still keep that for when I can't work anymore. Because eventually it's going to get to a point where I can't. But if I can help it, as long as I'm here, I'm going to be like Mark. I'm going to keep working.
Yeah, I got it built into my monthly expenses, long-term care insurance, because I don't have any kids. I don't have a spouse. So, if I'm falling and I can't get up, I need somebody to come get me. And that's part of my, not retirement plan, but just like long-term look, out of forecast. Like if I need this, I'll have it. If I turn 70 and I'm still like ripping and running around doing stuff, we cashing that bad boy in. We going around the world. But somewhere in between that is probably reality. So yeah, I'm glad my dad had me invest when I was younger, because now I'm sitting on a pretty decent sized nest egg that I don't plan to use unless I have to. You know, I've thought about it, considering what's going on and everything. I was like, okay, if I got to go liquidate all of this, take the penalty, buy some land in another country, and set up shop and just like I don't know, do hair on the beach for tourists at some point. That's plan. Honestly, that's plan A. Plan B is to actually still have to work. But again, sometimes we don't realize that the things that we do, we could do somewhere else for a lot different structure when it comes to cost of living expenses. So yeah.
You do coaching, you can do it virtual, right?
I could do a lot of work virtual. A lot of people, because COVID is kind of over, they get back to wanting me to come to their retreats, and flying from Ghana is a whole lot more expensive than flying from Atlanta to be in New York the next day. Right. But I can still do it. Mm-hmm. I could try and set stuff up where I come to the United States and spend a month flying around and then head back out.
There's an attorney that does that. She went back home to one of the islands, and she'll like contract attorneys to handle her stuff. But if it's like something big, she'll just fly back.
Yeah, I could do that. But yeah, it's something to be thinking about, because I remember when I was y'all's age, I wasn't thinking about it. I just had this thing building up, behind the scenes with my 401k. I just maxed it out, company match, all that kind of stuff. But then in 2018, when I started my own company, all right, so beans and rice and chicken for a little while. I remember once taking the fruit tray when I finished doing a presentation, because I was like, y'all gonna throw this away? No, let me get this. And all I had to do was add protein powder to it and put it in a blender, and that was breakfast for like a week.
I think you just secretly gave me the next random episode I'm gonna do. How to be cheap and successful. That's right up my alley.
Are we gonna hop on the struggle food trend?
Right.
Yeah.
There are most people that actually do. Like most people that have money like that are frugal in those means. It's like it's not necessarily a bad thing, but most people that have money like that do live their life as if they don't necessarily have it like that. That's how they keep their money.
Exactly. Like whenever they cater lunch at work, I'm definitely taking me a plate or two home and just gonna survive off that for the next couple of days. And I don't have no shame.
Absolutely.
I mean, I wouldn't want food to go to waste either, but there's certain things that I'm like, I'm good.
That's fine.
Now, it depends on depends on who made it. It really does depend on who made it, because you cannot eat everyone's food.
Yeah, I'm
only talking about when they cater. I'm not talking about potluck food.
Yeah, it was a huge like Publix fruit tray, so it had the pineapples and the apples and the grapes and the watermelon and everything, and like it was for a younger crowd, because it was like Girl Scouts or something like that, and they didn't want fruit, so it sat there covered the entire time. I was like, let me get that, because this.
I would definitely take a fruit tray.
Yeah.
Like whenever somebody has subs, I take those too. Right?
So there's a lot of hacks. So, one of the things that old boy mentioned before he got off is this idea of takeout. And you really don't know how much money you waste on takeout food.
Oh, yes, I do. And I cry.
Oh, man.
I still to this day refuse to Uber Eats or DoorDash or Grubhub anything. I'm not paying $40 more for something I can go pick up down the street.
But see, that's my point. That's my point. I'm not even talking. Yes, we know you're rich.
No, it's not even that. It's not even that. It's because if I go to a con, I'm probably drunk as hell. So I don't need to be in anybody's car anyway. So yes, deliver me my food.
Oh, we're not talking about.
You mean like everyday life?
Every day, like yeah. Or what we're saying, he eats takeout like all the time.
I do that too. But then, okay, once again, my situation is very unique. So I can't, for the most part, I can't be in the car with my son by myself because he will jump out the car. So I have to get, like before COVID, I was doing Instacart because if I forgot an ingredient, I'd be like, shoot. And then I have to like order some takeout because I forgot something.
Right.
So my situation is completely different.
Right.
Sorry. Hello, Mark. It's not because I'm rich.
No comment.
What we're talking about. So, okay. So just What we're talking about is people that buy takeout all the time and how you could maybe not spend so much money on takeout. And so you jumped in with, oh, I spend money all the time, and then had to walk it back like, okay, well, no, the reason I do it. So this conversation wasn't for you at this moment, you know?
Okay, let me mute myself.
Okay.
But
So
for my
people that-
sister who's watching, who eat takeout every day and
Right.
complain, this is for you. This is
So-
for you.
So let's break it down. Like if you eat takeout at least, we'll just say 3 times a week, and it's not because you have any other mitigating circumstances, but you just, you know, don't want to cook or don't cook, etc. That's a ridiculous amount of money. And it's not even just the Uber Eats. It's just eating a meal prepared somewhere else altogether. You know, we'll just say you got we'll just use Popeyes. You got a 2-piece dark with French fries and a biscuit and a drink, and that'll run you what, $12 or $15, right? Because Popeyes is more expensive now than it used to be. So we'll say $15 3 times a week. That's $45 a week, right? $45 a week times 52 weeks a year is money that you could be saving. If I just do that math real quick.
Wait, but I get where you're coming from, but I want to bring up a point, because when eggs was like $37 for 12, groceries was just as much as eating out. Because I was doing the math around that time. My grocery bill and what I would eat out in the month, eating out starting to be more reasonable a little bit after spending $300-400 worth on groceries. Because now I just want these groceries to last. I'm paid $30 for eggs. I'm a eat an egg every other day just until they expire or something, just to get my money's worth.
So let's be real. You want to spend $30 on eggs? That has never been a
No,
price.
I just didn't buy eggs. That's all that happened. I
just don't buy eggs. But like the cost of chicken, a pack of chicken, especially depending on where you buy it. And I know we're off on a tangent, but like a pack of chicken from, say, like you can get a whole chicken, an entire chicken from the farmers market here in Atlanta, like DeKalb farmers market, an entire chicken for $8. Now you take that chicken home and you cut it up, you put stuff in the freezer, you boil it, you make soup, whatever. You can take that entire chicken, and all you need is maybe some rice and like a vegetable. Vegetables are still very reasonable. You know, you can get some broccoli or whatever, and make that one chicken last you as much as 2 weeks, especially if you start putting stuff in the freezer. You know, if you take a rotisserie chicken even, which is probably maybe $15. That one cost of one meal at Popeyes now is a whole chicken that you can slice, dice, etc. Turn it into a salad, put it into chicken and dumplings. I just found that recipe the other day. Freeze some of it, take the bones even and make a soup out of it, add it to a gumbo, all this kind of stuff. If you know how to cook, it can change your financial disposable income if you don't buy pre-prepared food as often. Yes, Mark.
And that's what I'm so happy you brought up. A lot of people don't know how to cook like that, like I do. My freezer is full of stuff that I don't froze, and I can just go make soup or whatever. But like the younger generations that just instant microwave stuff or whatever, Rotel was dinner type of generation, they don't have that type of survival ethics. I learned that stuff from like my grandparents and great grandparents on like just growing up in the country and like picking your own beans and stuff like that. Oh my God, I'm country. But that's how I learned how to survive and like do stuff like that. So I'll break stuff down as much as I can. I'll buy raw ingredients and just make it myself. But then sometimes, you know, I'm lazy. I admit I'm lazy. I'll go buy the chopped onion instead of chopping the onion myself, and knowing that it costs more to buy a pre-already chopped onion and versus doing it myself. But a lot of people don't have that mindset to buy things and make it stretch and last, and you can make things out of other things. Just saying.
So with the math that I did earlier on like eating out 3 times a week, that's a cheap meal. We're not talking like Cheesecake Factory or Chipotle or whatever, but just like eating out 3 times a week at a basic meal. Let's assume that you can recoup 50% of that. What I calculated was like $2,400 a year. So $1,200 you could potentially save by cooking at home more often. That $1,200, that's your, what was the thing you wanted to buy, the Transformers that you couldn't afford? That was at Challenges. That's a trip. maybe not a trip all the way overseas, but it's a trip to the
Oh
Bahamas.
no, that's definitely a cruise. That is absolutely a 5-day cruise.
It's a cruise. And so again, I just wanted to put it in context of how much money you really save, because when it's just a number, it don't sound like a lot. But when you were like, yo, if I stop eating out as much, I could afford the vacation. That hits different than, I can't afford anything. I don't have the money for it. To your point about, I get it sometimes being lazy, because I'm not above ordering a pizza, and having it brought. I'm not above ordering. I spent $100 once on Indian food for me and my friends, because we didn't want to go out. We wanted to eat go out food, but we didn't want to leave the house. So they brought it to us. And when I got that bill, I was like, stop doing that. But every now and then you do splurge. But if you between turning the doggone water off when you brush your teeth and cook and stuff like that, and not leaving water running, if you pay your own water bills, things like that seem excessive, but it's a habit, it's a lifestyle change. And when you start doing those things, you do find yourself having more disposable income, because you don't realize how much money you are throwing away on laziness, on convenience. And it's not like it's really inconvenient to just turn the water off when you're brushing your teeth. But you can save, I don't know, maybe $300 over the course of a year by doing that one thing.
Or those people that keep their AC on 70.
Wait, both of y'all are talking at the same time. What'd you say, S.sceezy?
Oh no, I was like, caveat off of turning the water off when you brush your teeth. You turn the lights off when you leave the room.
True. Okay, Supreme Attorney, you can come back now. I see you've been playing. I know you've been playing on your phone this whole time.
Very much so. Yes.
Okay. But so Mark, what were you saying? You were talking about
so like I know a lot of people, and this is like a pet peeve of mine, like when you go over to their house and their AC is like on 70 or 69 degrees and it's just always on. That bothers me, because I'm like, I know I ain't paying your light bill, but if that was my light bill, I would not want that bill.
Right. I turn the only light on in my house ever is the room I'm in. If I'm not in that room, the lights are not on. As a matter of fact, during the day, since I do a lot of work from home, and if I'm not actually traveling or doing a virtual event, the lights are not on in the house. We just open the blinds, and we're using sunlight, and everything in here is dark. And if I'm not watching TV, if I'm reading my Kindle, then that's very little electricity used in the course of the day. Another thing, to your point about the AC, I can't wait for fall to get here, because of open the windows, turn the AC off, and let this fan cool this house off.
Speak for yourself. My husband is a polar bear. That AC is always on.
Same. I want to
my husband is a polar bear.
If I can't have like 5 or 6 blankets, I don't want it.
That part.
I understand that type. So you like the cold air and then the blankets underneath the cold.
I have a hoodie on in my house.
I can't do that. Like, no, it can't. 76 degrees, 78 degrees, I keep it there. I will say
no. How, friend?
Absolutely. I will never come to your house.
That's fine. I try to keep the fans going. I'll open the window when I need to. I work at night also, so like in the daytime, I can just be in the living room and just chill out
and clearly not wear clothes, because ain't no way you still got clothes on and it's that hot in the house.
I stay by myself. Well, I used to stay by myself. Now my sister, but she working in the daytime, so I ain't got to worry about all that. But then when I go to work at night, I'm freezing and I got to wear like 2 jackets and a hoodie because of where I work. So it's weird.
Yeah, when I first moved into this place, I moved in here in April, and the nights were still cool, like around 60 degrees outside. And yeah, I wouldn't turn the AC off, but I would set it to where the heater wouldn't come on because I didn't need it, and the AC wouldn't come on unless it got above like 75 degrees. But at night, I'd pop the window open in my bedroom and turn the ceiling fan on and have a nice little breeze. And I never got hot. And this is coming from a person with hot flashes, but it only works when it's cold at night outside. And we pop these doors open the window, got the fan going, and the AC is not running. Because air conditioning is probably one of the biggest contributors to your electricity bill.
Mm-hmm. Oh, for sure.
Oh, it absolutely is.
That's what mine is.
Especially going in Georgia, the way the light bill is going up, it's crazy.
Oh
And
my God, beautiful.
I know I'm a little bit older than all y'all, but I remember like my grandmother's house did not have central air. It was a space heater in the living room for the winter, and she had a wall unit.
Oh, one of the big old furnaces that you had the light.
No, not that. It was like it looked like
Not
it
that
almost it was
old.
about the size of like a suitcase, and it was metal, and it was
It had
you could
the
either
bricks
yeah,
inside of it.
yes,
Yeah, I know
yeah,
exactly
yeah.
what
They used to set a whole lot of houses on fire back in the day too.
you
Yeah.
And then like we didn't have central air in my parents' house until I was in like middle school. It was a big deal when we got it, but before that, it was window units
In Texas?
in Texas.
Why?
Now you got to remember,
The audacity.
the house that my parents bought was built in the mid '60s.
Mm.
I am sorry. I am sorry. No. I when I work in Texas, I refuse to work outside past 12 o'clock. Actually, no, past 11 o'clock, simply because of the weather.
Yeah, yeah. People be dying from heat stroke in Texas. That's a real thing.
Exactly.
Mhm.
The South heat is completely different than because I'm from California,
Mhm.
and desert heat is completely different. In the South, it just kind of sticks to you. Even if you're under a tree, it just sticks. But
It's
in
because
It's
California,
that
you're
humidity. It feels like
It's
you're walking
real.
through soup.
Yes.
yeah.
It's wet and dry bulb temperature. So yeah, the humidity is matter of fact, people used to say, "Oh, it's Africa hot outside." Now I talked to a couple
No,
from Africa and they're like, it's not this hot in Africa. I don't know who lied to y'all, but the South is oppressive heat.
It
I have
is.
never heard of that.
What, Africa hot?
I have
I've
not
never
either.
heard someone say that.
I am.
That sounds like a real country. No, not even country. What type of people say that?
I don't know, folks in Texas.
Oh,
I mean, the whole
Okay.
state is country, so it tracks.
That's also not inaccurate. You're right. You're right.
Mhm. So I think probably ready to wrap up. So the last thing I want to do before we get out of here, one, I want to thank all of y'all for being here because, yes, prove that y'all are young if y'all don't know Africa Hot. Yeah, that's actually another panel I want to do at Dragon Con is things, phrases, and references that will help you improve the status of your Black card. So
I will be in the audience for that.
yeah, like if you don't know where Eat the Cake anime comes from, like those kind of things. I want to do a panel on learning to play spades. Like I got lots of ideas. We'll see what gets accepted.
Oh,
would love
I
to
want to do that.
too.
House
I'm going to
rules.
get booted out instantly with that one.
No, you're supposed to learn because that's the thing is none of y'all's parents or older siblings will teach y'all because they don't want to play with y'all in the high stakes game because the family reunion is a high stakes game. And so learning in a safe space with people that are willing to be patient and teach you is the plan.
That's
But,
what I would need too, because I always get booted. Like, oh, she's from California. She can't play.
Oh, wow, that's messed up.
I know, right?
That is really messed up.
Mhm.
I'm also from California. I take high offense to this.
Yeah.
Oh, I was already offended, but true, I cannot play. But I know people who can that are in California. I just can't.
Right. There's no regional discrimination on who can and can't play,
Right? That's because my family's from New Orleans. I'm the only one from Cali.
There's also regional differences. Like the way they play in Florida is different than the way they play in Georgia and different than the way they
Really?
play in Texas.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. That's crazy too.
Mhm.
Again, house rules.
House rules.
It's like Uno.
I see.
Okay, so that's a story for a different time. What I want to do is one, I want to thank y'all for being here. This has been a good conversation. I hope the people that are watching have learned something. Because yes, spades. One of the only times in my life that I got blackout angry was over a game of spades.
Yeah,
My
because
friends
Joy's
started
gonna teach
coming
me.
across the table on somebody. Yeah, it was bad.
Wait, okay. So if I play spades, my life might be in danger?
Yes.
Only if you play bad. The reason I came across the table on this dude is because he was cheating. I couldn't figure out how he was doing it. He was rubbing it in, and then when I was like, you know what, I quit. I don't even want to play with you no more. He started talking noise about me being a quitter and et cetera, and that's when I lost it and I came across the table on him. I'm sorry, Marcus. I've been apologizing that for like 30 years now.
I do like where you get to talk mess to people.
Talking smack is a part of the game. It's a psychological aspect of it,
Yeah.
That sounds really fun.
So yeah, we'll do that. But anyway, once more for the people who came in late or who are catching this midstream, where can we find you all on the internets, please? Sorry, S.sceezy.
Well, as you guys know, I'm S.sceezy. You can find me on all different social medias: YouTube, Instagram, TikTok under the same handle. TikTok, the handle is sceezy.madness, but everything else is pretty much the same. S-CEEZY.
Okay. B. Cunningham, once more for us, please.
Yes, once more, I can be found on all platforms at b.cunninghamcosplay, and you can also catch my awesome toku and anime covers at Blue Storm Entertainment on YouTube.
Supreme Attorney.
The Supreme
Esquire.
Attorney. Thank you. The Supreme Attorney on Instagram, YouTube, and I think it's just Supreme Attorney on TikTok.
Okay.
Oh, and then you could call me if you get into an accident, so we can both get a bag. Thanks.
There you go. There you go. And I'm Joy Stevens by day, but Joyride08 is where you can find me on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, I believe. I might be the Moment of Joy on TikTok. And that's all you need to find me. Threads and Instagram is where I hang out the most. And if you're looking for me in real life, you can find me in the A. But Marc, tell people what they should be looking forward to coming up next.
All right, so coming up next week, Blerdkast Live will have a break because I gotta honor the membership benefits. So if you're looking for us next Monday, we won't be here. But if you are a channel member, I will be there for you. We will have something next Monday, members only. Matter of fact, since we're talking about adult money, I'm a shameless plug myself again. If you have some adult money and you would like to help your favorite content creators have some adult money of their own, you can do so by hitting the join button below this screen. Just hit join or go in the description and become a member of my Patreon. Teresa, thank you so much for being a Patreon member. I appreciate it so much. But after next Monday, coming up October 8th, we will be doing another very special episode, cosplaying while black. Some of our members will be back on for that episode, and I'll have some new cosplayers, some new people to shine on the panel. So stay tuned for that. And then after that, we have so much. October is going to be loaded with interviews from con creators, with interviews from local politicians about some stuff coming up. So that November 3rd episode is going to be amazing. All the episodes for Blerdkast Live have been planned out all the way up until December 15th. So please don't forget to like and subscribe to Moana Nui and Blerdography if you haven't, so you don't miss out. But for everybody, I am Marc. This has been Blerdkast Live. Again, adult money.
Marc, before you go, the last question you got was, is there an archive to see Black indie creators? And I know you've done a lot of interviews with indie Black creators. Do you have like a playlist where somebody could just run them back to back?
I do have a playlist, but not specifically for Black indie creators, which I will work on that after this. But if you go to my channel, you can look through my comic creator playlist, voice actor playlist. Every single playlist I do has like something blackety black in it. So please go check it out. What was my last interview I did that I posted? It was from Atlanta Comic-Con. I can't remember who it was, but Atlanta Comic-Con, I did a couple of video interviews there with some interesting people. And BlerdCon, I did a lot at BlerdCon. So if you want, go check out those playlists.
Okay.
Yeah, your channel is the reason I want to go to BlerdCon, because the interviews are so interesting and people are so like into it that I was like, oh, let me buy my ticket right now.
Okay. So a bit about BlerdCon for next year. They're doing Geek Nick, which is a play on Atlanta's Freak Nick. So obviously, I got to go to that. But BlerdCon is unlike any other convention I've ever gone to. It's the closest to being a Black Dragon Con, if that makes sense to anybody. But yeah, if you ever go to Dragon Con and wonder what it's like if it was all Black, that's BlerdCon. It's smaller, more intimate. Food trucks. I'm sorry, oxtail pho and ramen. Hilton George threw a party and we had a time. So again, if you shameless plug, I'm not sponsored by BlerdCon, but please go to BlerdCon 2026. It's going to be amazing. Oh yeah, and I'm wrapping up the show. But for everybody else, this has been Blerdkast Live. Again, follow, like, comment, subscribe, become a member. Below us $2 a month so you can get on next Monday's episode, because that's only going to be for members. And until then, may the power protect you.
So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can't keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.
If this the land of the free, it was a freedom then, when they annexed Hawaii and called it Cedar Lands, without any type of payment and no signing off. Called themselves a republic in 1894. 1.2 million acres overtaken from the native Hawaiians. When they resisted, the West retaliated in violence and erasure. The Hawaiian language is banned as part of colonialism's plan to expand, yeah.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. We will.
So if we put Hawaii into perspective, well, Black and Asian history is interconnected. Considering the fight with the Pacific, then of course versus Asia, they was treated as a middleman for war, but didn't let the Western colorism run its course. Cause dark skin was a sign of dignity to core. The land was taken in the name of capitalism, when prior to it was an actual kingdom. Clap back at the system.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place. Multiple bombings of Kaho'olawe as a part of their ongoing war with Asia. Used it as a place for target practice. No consent or compensation. Colonizers call for annexation. No work out for all the locals. School will never let you know. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. So many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will. Too many stories left to tell, even if we have to ourselves. Can keep history on the shelf. If they won't tell it, we will.